Hey, welcome to the chair. This will be the Week 9 recap and Week 10 preview of the NFL season. Already, Week 10 we're coming up on. There was already a Thursday night game uh, as Raiders won that. And we'll have more of that on the Raider Weekly. We'll also go back and talk about the Raider game against Detroit, which Oakland won as well. So let's get into Week 9. It started Thursday with San Francisco going 8-0, defeating the Cardinals in Glendale, Arizona. The final score was 28-25. Cardinals did make a run, but fell short. Ruffalo had four touchdowns passing and 317 yards passing. That was last Thursday's game. Houston in London played Jacksonville, and the Texans improved to 6-3. Jaguars go to 4-5. The final was 26-3. Houston. Uh, Minshew lost his starting job, as both will have bye weeks, of course, because they went to London. Uh, but Jacksonville will go with Nick Foles. I didn't think he was going to come back this year, but he will. So that'll be interesting to see how the season goes for Jacksonville down the stretch. Uh, in Philadelphia, the Eagles hosted the Bears, and it was ugly early for Chicago. They did make a little comeback, but the final was 22-14 Philadelphia. It was hardly any offense for the Bears. I think there was 1 yard gained in the first quarter, the first half, I believe, by Mitchell Trubisky. There are heads to roll probably after this season for the Bears unless a miracle can happen. But we'll see what happens with that. Now, the marquee game of the morning, at least morning out here on the West Coast, was the Vikings and Chiefs in Kansas City. It was a Butker game-winning field goal to give the Chiefs the win, 26-23 over Minnesota. It was a good back-and-forth game, one of those marquee games that you you'll love to see. One note: the Chiefs are wearing gray face masks instead of their white face masks because it was, I guess you could call it a rematch of Super Bowl IV back in the day. That was little cool to see that. What wasn't cool to see, but I did see some of it, was Washington going to Buffalo, and the final was Bills 24-9. Uh, Bills led the whole way. Even Josh Allen had a good day. He threw for a couple touchdowns. That was pretty good for the Bills. Colts and the Steelers. The final score was 26-24 Pittsburgh. They won on field goal. Jacoby Brissett got hurt, and he'll be out for multiple weeks. Brian Hoyer did step in and do a great job, but the Steelers somehow got the win. And for, I think, many, you would call it an upset that the Steelers did win. So that was good. So in one of the miserable bowls that we have during the year, it was the Jets and Dolphins. The Dolphins were winless, but they ended up getting the win. Now both are 1-7. The final was 26-18 Miami. Uh, the Dolphins led the whole way pretty much. Uh, they did not let the Jets do much offensively. Uh, so, and I picked the Dolphins. I was for sure because the Jets are just that bad, and I figured the Dolphins would be so embarrassed of how they played on that Monday night last week 8 uh, in Pittsburgh. So I figured they would get a win against the Jets, and being home helped too. Titans went to Charlotte to play the Carolina Panthers. The final was Panthers 30, Titans 20. McCaffrey had a couple of touchdowns rushing, one receiving for the fantasy people out there to have him. That was a good day for him as well. Uh, Titans again, even with their little winning streak, is going on another losing streak, I guess, but we'll see about week 10. Panthers staying alive in that South and the wild card race. So that's cool to see. Seahawks hosted the Buccaneers. Shout out to Todd Mesky and the Grinds. This game was back and forth. The Buccaneers led by 10 somehow. They made a game of it. But in overtime, the Seahawks won 40-34, improved to 7-2. So that was a thrilling game for sure, and very surprising how the Buccaneers held on as long as they could. And for the game, I'll just say the score, and we'll go more in depth of it on our Raider preview. Detroit Lions went into Oakland. Oakland finally back at home. They held on literally last seconds. The defense did to win 31-24. The Raider defense came up clutch, and we'll get into more of that on the Raider Weekly Preview. Two recaps, actually. The Browns, most disappointing team for sure, went into Mile High to play the Broncos and lost 24-19. The Broncos led most of the way. The Browns tried to come back at the end. They gained a lot of yards, but they came up short. The Browns got a 2-6. Man, it is depressing that it's going on like that for Baker Mayfield. He's not finding OBJ, excuse me, or Landry. Chubb didn't get much. The Bronco defense stopped the run pretty well. That was a great effort by the Denver Broncos. The Packers had a home game in LA against the Chargers, but the Chargers ended up winning 26-11. They led all the way. Charger defense did a tremendous job stopping the rush, and even Aaron Rodgers pressuring him. Just surprising, I guess you could say. There was thoughts that Aaron Rodgers being home, at least in California, that he and the Packers partied too hard for the job at hand. Could have been the case. It's just odd you hear it in football, especially for a road team, I guess. Patriots on the Sunday Night Football went to Baltimore, and the Ravens led the whole way. I mean, this was such a surprise. Ravens won 37-20. Patriots lose their first game, go to 8-1. The Ravens go to 6-2. Jackson did well. He scored 2 touchdowns rushing and 1 passing. He managed the game pretty well. Patriots just couldn't get stops, and then they were turning over the ball pretty much the whole game. Edelman had a couple of fumbles. That was definitely a shocker on Sunday Night Football. And to round up Week 9 Monday Night Football was the Cowboys headed to New Jersey to play the Giants. And I guess the highlight of the game was a black cat running on the field, running to the camera well, and then running into the tunnel. He had his fun, he or she. And then the game had to go on, I guess. And the Cowboys just took over after a sluggish start. Cowboys ended up winning 37-18. Giants kind of made a comeback at the end, but Cowboys go to 5-3. So let's go to Week 10 of the NFL season already. Wow, Week 10. Wowie. Uh, Thursday night game was the Chargers going to Oakland for the final time, and that was a Raider victory. It was Raiders led most of the way, went back and forth. That was just a nail-biting game, like all the games have been for the Raiders so far, except one probably, maybe the Packer game. Somehow the Raider defense did again, stopped Chargers from stopped them. Safety Harris had a great night with 2 picks. He ran one back for a touchdown. The final score was 26-24. Raiders go to 5-4. The Chargers go to 4-6. We'll have more, of course, on the Raider weekly show coming up on another video. Let's go to Sunday morning's action. We have the Ravens at 6-2 going to Cincinnati, who are 0-8 coming off a bye. I see the Ravens winning this easily, right? Like 27-9, or maybe there will be a touchdown scored. So maybe 27-10. See Jackson having a great rushing day on the ground, as well as Mark Ingram. He hasn't done much on the ground as of late, but he had a great start to the season. But maybe he'll get something going on the ground this Sunday. The Bills travel not too far to Cleveland. Bills at 6-2, the Browns at 2-6. And they play Thursday night. They host the Steelers 4 days later. So this is a tough stretch for the Browns. Remember, they went to Denver and lost. Now they go home facing a crowd that's pissed off at them. And then what a friend said, there might be some Bills fans that might travel from upstate New York to Cleveland, to 3-hour drive to support the 6-2 Bills. So I have the Bills. It'll be a very close game, but maybe by a field goal. I see Cleveland winning. Baltimore winning. I mean Buffalo winning that game over Cleveland. For the next game was the 1-7 Falcons coming off a bye. The Saints coming off a bye at 7-1. Drew Brees will be quarterbacking. Came back last week or 2 weeks ago against the Cardinals. And I could see this. Matt Ryan will come back as well for the Falcons. So, still, with that being said, I expect the Saints to have a banner day defensively. Win that game easily. So I got the Saints in that one easily. Yeah, and one of the miserables, the Battle of New Jersey or New York. Giants and Jets play. Giants at 2-7. The Jets at 1-7. Giants lead 8-5 all time in the series. Gosh, I expect the Giants to win. And these two did make a trade. One of their defensive ends, Jets, went to the Giants, so that should be fun for him to get some revenge. And since he knows the plays, I expect the Giants to be great defensively and just well enough offensively. Like Golden State will have a good day. Saquon Barkley, I want to see him have a great running day as well. And Daniel Jones have a good passing day. So I got the Giants for sure. Biggest story I think of the week is the availability of Pat Mahomes. Chiefs 6-3 go to the Titans, who are 4-5. The only way the Titans win if Derrick Henry just has a great day and Ryan Tannehill does not throw picks or fumbles. I gotta protect him, but we'll see what happens. I expect the Chiefs to win with or without Mahomes, so that would be a game time decision for sure for Kansas City. But Chiefs win, I see in that one. And another miserable, we have Arizona going to Tampa to play the Bucks. Cardinals are 3-5-1. Buccaneers are 2-6. I could see this game being maybe a tie, but I could see the Cardinals winning this game. Kyler Murray, if he can scramble out of the pocket and get away from the Buccaneers defense, he may have a good game. But the Cardinals secondary, they got to stop Goodwin and Evans and somehow corral Jameis Winston. So this might be one of those field goal games. Like Zane Gonzalez might win it for the Cardinals. So I'll pick Arizona there. In the NFC North rivalry, we have 3-4-1 Lions going to Chicago to face the 3-5 Bears. These are two teams that are just disappointing. Meanwhile, the Vikings and Packers are way above them for sure. This game is pretty much a toss-up. You might give the slight edge to the Bears, but the Lions may shock and have a great passing day. The Bears' defense just is not the same, but I know they'll be hungry to at least get some sacks and fumbles and picks. But their offense is awful. Trubisky just has his good days, but has his really bad days. Good moments, bad moments, pretty much. I'll go with Chicago in this one. Again, it might be if they miss a field goal, Pinheiro, then the Lions might win. But I'll go with Chicago. Okay, the 1-7 Dolphins go to the 5-3 Colts. Remember, the Colts are without Jacoby Brissett, who was having a great game, but he got hurt against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I still will pick the Colts. I don't think they could stop Marlon Mack's rushing attack. T.Y. Hilton is a game-time decision. But I think the tight ends will eat up the Dolphin defense. Dolphins probably will not do well scoring, but hopefully they make it a game and make it something to watch on Sunday. But I got the Colts, easy. Now this one seems intriguing. The Panthers are 5-3, going to Green Bay at 7-2. You gotta think the Packers are angry at themselves for having the letdown game in Carson last week. So if they could stop and corral McCaffrey, then Packers should win. Defensively, they should be better. Offensively, they should be better. Get the rushing game going if you're the Packers. I'll pick Green Bay though. I'll pick Green Bay at home to have an Aaron Rodgers field day with the scores. So a rematch of the Super Bowl in 79-80. Rams at 5-3 go to Pittsburgh 4-4. Rams coming off a bye after the win in London against Cincinnati. I expect the Rams to win this game. But it depends how that Steelers defense, T.J. Watt, comes off the side. The Rams have a depleted offensive line, and Gurley has good games, has bad games. We'll see how he does against that Steelers front. That's young and fun. The Rams should win this game, but not by more than 4 in this one. I got LA in that. The Vikings play the Cowboys on NBC Sunday Night Football. Vikings at 6-3. The Cowboys at 5-3. And the Vikings will be out without Adam Thielen in the game. So if the Cowboys can show what they did against the Jets, but throughout the game, I know they're facing a better team, so I'll pick the Cowboys for now, but it won't be as easy. It'll be at least 4 3-point game, 2-point game, 1-point game. It won't be a Cowboy blowout for sure. Um, I can see Kirk Cousins having again, not a great game as he's had the last 2 weeks. He hasn't been as good. So shout out to SkullTube 19 Minnesota and Matty Matt with the Cowboys. So that would be fun. Sunday night game for sure. Speaking of fun, we got the Monday Night Football. Got Todd Seahawks against Terry. I got in a car. Williams is 8-0 49ers. The Seahawks come in at 7-2. This is the toast of the NFC West going at it on Monday Night Football. Should be a really, really good game. I mean, you got the defenses going at one another. 49er defense, of course, is better at this point. Russell Wilson, he's the MVP candidate as of now. So this is really tough to pick. I'll go with the 49ers, but hopefully Russell Wilson will have one of those banner days where if the running game isn't going with Carson and Procise, then hopefully the pass opens up. But again, that 49er defense, even without a linebacker going on the IR, I can see them just scoring enough to be in the Seahawks if they can stop the Seahawks defensively. So that should be a fun game. Both night games should be fun, and then then you should have the Rams game as well. That should be fun, and the Packer game. That's about it though with the fun this week. So that was a quick recap. I didn't want to do too much of Week 8 because it was so long ago, it feels like. And then quickly go through the Week 10 games. So whoever your team is, wish you nothing but the best, except if you're Charger and ill, or 49er ill, Cowboy ill. Ill. All right. Can't think of anything else really to do except go to my next videos, and we'll see you on that one, okay?